Hello once again. Welcome into a brand new week here and more Exiles TV. I'm Kevin Gallagher along with Bill Profita. How are you, sir?
I'm well, thank you. Good morning to you.
A lot of things to talk about as we're in inauguration week. That'll be coming up at the end of the week as Joe Biden officially accepts the reign as president of these United States. Regardless of how one may feel about that, good or bad.
And I also understand he gets like a month's worth of Benny's car wash coupons.
Yeah,
with that.
which is always the best part.
I've always wondered what was on the podium, and they told me that's what's on the podium.
The car wash coupons are on
You
the
do
podium.
this. You take your oath and all that, and you do this real quickly. You take the car wash.
Kind of scoop.
Yeah, you take the car wash, and then you shake hands, and while you're shaking hands with the Chief Justice, you slip them in your suit pocket. Nobody knows.
There's also, I'm told, free passes for Top Golf, too.
Yeah.
So there's perks to being president.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good to be the king.
So, Drew Brees.
Drew Brees.
Is
he done or not?
You know, I was thinking, watching the end of that game, I was hearing Sinatra. That's
Now,
life.
The end is
No,
near.
I mean, that you're riding high in April, shot down in May. He had a little problem with throwing.
How many picks did he throw yesterday?
Trois.
Yeah. I mean, I'm willing to believe a 42-year-old could, be a quarterback as well as
The
any
quarterback
younger man.
he was facing is 43 years old. He didn't seem to have the same problem.
I saw some highlights, and some of those looked almost intentional.
Well,
Almost intentional, Bill.
I think the first one really got in the man's head.
Mm-hmm.
On the sidelines, he was pacing around, like a caged tiger. But the question is he going to retire now? He had said he was considering it, probably going to retire, but I don't think he wants to retire after getting his jock knocked off by Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
And a brand new 2 years in the league linebacker from LSU, Devin White, who basically rang his bell about 8 or 9 times and intercepted one of those passes.
It was certainly not a good day for Drew Brees, who is still, statistically speaking, the most prolific quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. It just, the defense for Tampa Bay was playing lights out. And they pointed out, after they pointed it out, sometimes the announcers are really good for something on these, that he hadn't thrown anything over about 15 yards.
Really?
Yeah.
Since the rib injuries?
No, since the beginning of that game.
Oh.
And he had one that was not successful at the very beginning that was about a 35-yard pass. And after that, he had dialed it back a little bit.
Down and out, down and out.
Down and out, down and out, down and out. And boy, you want to talk about down and out. That was, I mean, I hate to say this because I admire the man a great deal, but that ain't no way to go out.
So, do you think he's going to want to, come back next season and just, when he has one really good game, just say, that's it, I'm out.
Well,
I quit. The man's got his whole career behind him. I mean, that one last game does not define him, does it?
Yeah. If you're someone who watches the New Orleans Saints, you're only as good as what happened a half an hour ago.
Well, that's always been true of Saints fans.
But, I mean, here's the thing.
They love you or hate you depending on what you did last weekend.
I think what you really get into is somebody ready, seasoned enough to run the same offense that Drew Brees ran.
Mm-hmm.
Is Taysom Hill ready to do it? Is Jameis Wilson ready to do it?
Taysom Hill missed yesterday.
He played one play, didn't he, as quarterback?
If he did, I missed it.
Yeah.
I thought he was out the whole game.
But that is an awful way for Drew Brees to have to go out. So
not everybody gets to pick how they go, my friend.
Well, that's true.
I mean, okay, so what are the options? The Saints' season
is over.
So he can either hope to come back next season and hope that, he's not going to be the main starting quarterback with all that weight on him, and then hope that he does get one or two good games, and then he He can retire mid-season,
Well-
or he can just take his lumps and go.
He said after the game at the press conference, he said, go ahead and ask the question. And it was asked. And he said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a little time, get away from this. I'm going to think about it. I'm going to weigh my options. And then I will announce my decision.
Could he do like a Brady, where he's going to leave the Saints and go to another team?
Oh, God.
For one last season?
Oh, God. No.
That would be a mistake in my mind.
Well, the thing is, Brady got Gronk to come with him and come out of retirement.
Mm-hmm.
The old 1-2 pitch. But, I mean, where's he going to go? I mean, everybody's pretty set quarterback-wise. But here's the thing. The way my options, I think he's going to spend some time with Sean Payton and say, tell me the truth. Have I still got it? Will you still, in training camp, if I earn it, put me in as the starting quarterback, even though I might not stay the whole season? Tell me what you think, Sean.
Have I still got it? Do you still love me, honey?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Or do you just want to trade me in on two younger?
And I got to tell you, I mean, I feel bad. I don't think he anticipated. I think he anticipated every game can be your last game, okay? I don't think he anticipated throwing 3 really, really elementary interceptions and then having the other fumble in the open field, which really hurt. Mm-hmm. He had nothing to do with that. All he did was hand off the ball.
So the question is, have we said farewell to Drew Brees, pro quarterback?
I am of the mind that we will see Drew Brees at training camp next season.
Maybe so. Hey, we got to take a break, our first of the hour. We say goodbye to another good friend. When we come back, Exiles TV. Be right there.
Who's their first game next season? If it's a rubber.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every.
Hello, welcome back to Exiles TV. It is with a heavy heart that we announce that the father of our District 6 U.S. Congressman Garrett Graves, John Graves, passed away over the weekend. complications associated with COVID-19. This damned virus has touched so many lives in such a negative way. And now we've had congressmen get sick with it. We've now had Garrett Graves lose a loved one to it. A statement released from Congressman Graves says, "Thank you to all of the awesome friends and complete strangers who've been praying for my father and our family. You were never ready for this, but Dad's passing caught us all by surprise. He was one of those awesome American dream stories that inspired our entire family. His father died when he was young, and he worked multiple jobs to help the family, worked his way through college, and eventually owned his own business that trained so many engineers across South Louisiana. We are asking for prayers and privacy during this time of grieving." That statement from Congressman Garrett Graves. You actually knew John Graves personally.
John was very, very valuable in this community in terms of traffic design. He was a registered professional engineer. His firm, you've probably heard the firm, Evans Graves.
Yes.
Engineering.
Yes.
They've been around forever. They were one of the large engineering firms. But back in the day when I had my public relations company, I did a couple projects for Evans Graves engineers, and John was my contact there. And one of the projects that I worked on with him, putting together public relations materials, photographs, was that amazing intersection that had to be squeezed in for Segan Lane between I-10, Perkins, St. George Church, and the shopping mall there. And they actually won, he was the primary designer, actually won a national engineering award for that particular intersection.
That intersection, when it was finished, made a profound improvement
Oh,
of
yeah.
traffic flow on Segan Lane, too.
Yeah.
And it was all very tough because you had to be able to get off of the interstate and then immediately hop into that church parking lot if you needed to.
And if
And then there was the Segan Marketplace
Yeah.
as well that had to be factored in.
yeah, that's you're sticking an interchange for 3 lanes in each direction in that little tiny space. And I was not in that part of the business anymore when this happened, but I think his firm had a big part in the airline highway to Old Jefferson and Segan interchanges.
Very similar designs.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But he was very much an innovator in civil engineering. I know he also used to do a lot of work at airports all around the country. At airports, I mean, they need a lot of civil engineering done. It's all concrete, and he was just a really great guy. A lot of engineers, when you work with them, you can't get 3 words out of them. When you talk about something that you think would be appropriate, they kind of grunt. Not him. He was very loquacious, very outgoing. He was one of these guys that always had you come into his office and sit with him, not just hand you something as here, this is what I need done. But a really good engineer, a really good guy.
Well, and I'm sure he was very proud of the accomplishments of his son Garrett, who is indeed a chip off the old block. And thoughts and prayers, as they say. Thoughts and prayers for the Graves family.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where you sit there and say, who else? Who's next?
Well, and as you well know, because you lost both of your parents at a fairly early age, and you're just never prepared to get that phone call where you're being told that either they're already gone or that you've only got so much time to try to see them before they do. And in the age of COVID, you don't even get that privilege. That's what's so sad about COVID-19 is how many people have died alone in a hospital room without even their loved ones nearby.
Well, and it's just one of these things, and of course, again, this is not a push the panic button type of thing, but the first case of this much more contagious United Kingdom COVID variant has now been discovered in the greater New Orleans area. Here is what they are saying. The more contagious COVID-19 variant has been detected in the New Orleans region, while not shown to cause more severe illness. this variant is more easily transmitted from person to person. It's now more important than ever to distance, avoid gatherings, and to mask. They now have about 8 or 9 states, and the trouble with New Orleans is that it's such an in-transit type of city. You know, the first one they found was in the Detroit, Michigan area, and it was someone who had flown from the United Kingdom to Detroit, which is home, I believe, for that person. There are nonstop flights. But now, you know, you've got this, and how many flights are there a day between these type of hub cities in New Orleans? There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, yes.
You know, eventually, while the airplane itself is pretty safe, when that person gets out and they get into an Uber or a taxi or go check into a hotel, or if that's home and they're going to see grandma, or it's not home and they're going to see grandma, you know, that's the problem. That's the bad news. Now, the good news, and again, I'm sorry if I sound like I'm harping on this, but I'm going to harp on it until I see some movement, is that finally they're getting some decent numbers of vaccines.
I've got some numbers in front of me. Do you?
I don't have those, but it's in excess of 50,000 coming in this week, right?
Right, and the Department of Health has issued a statement this morning stating that during the week of January 18th, a total of 298 vaccine providers across the state, that's 298 spread over 64 parishes, will receive limited doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. LDH says these providers will include 150 chain pharmacies, 112 independent pharmacies, 19 federally qualified health centers, 3 rural health clinics, and an additional 14 healthcare sites representing all 9 public health regions and 64 parishes. They'll be available only for those in Phase 1B Tier 1, which is, if you're 70 years of age or older, you're in that phase. If you're an outpatient clinic provider or clinic staff, you'll be able to get that vaccine. Urgent care clinic providers and staff, community care clinic providers and staff, behavioral health clinic providers and staff, dialysis providers and clients, home health service providers, clients and staff, dental providers and staff, ambulatory care providers and staff, students, residents, faculties, and staff of allied health schools. Now, I'm already seeing that, you know, that initial 50,000 is going to run out fast.
Well, they're not saying 50,000. That was a number I heard. They're saying very limited. This is starting to hack me off. What do you mean very limited? Are each of them getting 10? Or are
Don't be
each of them
demure.
getting
Give us
10,000?
Yeah, don't be demure. Give us numbers. You know, don't. What are you playing around with? Very limited. How limited? Very limited. You know, these are the sorts of things when they dance around with words like this that make people not trust them completely, Bill.
Well, you know, the thing is, I don't think anybody should trust their distribution system as it sits right now. Not that there's anything sinister about it, it's just not working. It is not working. You know what? Don't do... This is like, you know what this is? This is like DH on Halloween going to the door with a great big bowl that's got 2 candy bars in it.
Yep.
Shut up.
They're going to be available everywhere, but there'll only be about 5 or 6 at each individual location.
That's certainly what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Shut up until you got 1 million doses. Then tell us where to go get them.
And it looks to me like they're trying to open this up to more than just elderly people and things. I mean, that was a pretty long list of people eligible to get the vaccine.
It's the same one that was from the original. That hasn't changed.
Right.
Remember I was making fun of Phase 1B, Tier 1? It's the same thing.
By the way, if you are an older person and you have no idea where to go, you can pick up the phone, call 211, and you can find a vaccine.
And boy, that'll be a
provider near
pleasure
you.
for you, please.
Oh, yeah.
Call 211
because
now.
211 is any of those information numbers.
It'll make you proud to be a Louisianian, let me tell you.
They set themselves up with the best of intentions, I think, 211 and all these other...
It's all a shut up and get back in the truck move.
Well, it's what I call, Bill, the politics of discouragement.
No, they don't even try to discourage you. They're saying, look what we're doing. We set up 211. Hey, how about setting up 211 vaccinations today?
Yeah. when I say politics of discouragement, I mean you call 211 and you get the automated thing, and by the time you pressed 1, then 2, then 1 again, then 2 again, then 3, then 0, then 1, then 2, from the various menus, you're just sick of it. You want to hang up.
Well,
and you're discouraged from carrying on any further.
And you can get a person, and then you have to try to decipher what that person is saying.
Yeah, there's that too.
So I can do this for you, by the way. When you call,
I wasn't
when you
gonna
call
go there.
211, I can decipher what that person is saying. Here's what they're saying: we really don't know. I'm sorry. That's all the information we have. That's what they're saying.
Yep.
I had to go pick up a prescription
Don't know anything.
on Friday, and there's this very nice lady. She's about this big. She's clearly over 70, and she's saying, how do I get the vaccine? And the pharmacist actually took the time to speak with her.
Did he know?
Yeah, he knew. He said,
Okay.
he said, you have to go online, you have to make a reservation, but every one of the stores in this area, this was a Walgreens, is completely booked up. So she's saying, I can't get one. And he's saying, that's right, not right now. And she said, why is that? And he said, it's mathematics. And if you remember, 10 days ago, I pointed out about this. Not counting all these other ones, you know, people at the toenail clinic and you know, and people who give enemas to people, not counting all that. We have 175,000 people in this state that are over 70. They are telling them to make reservations at places that have 150 vials. Give me a freaking break.
Yeah. What we need is volume.
You know what? I don't want to hear a damn thing until they got 1 million doses in hand.
Yep.
These poor older people, you know, and the woman's like,
Oh,
I-
my mother, my 85-year-old mother in Mississippi is, I won't say she's terrified, but she's very anxious. She would like to get this vaccine
well, you know,
so that she could see her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren again.
here's the deal. There are some places that are historically dumber than we are that are acting smarter than we are. Mm-hmm. They're like, all right, I've got 5,000 doses. Come and get it. Instead of taking a day or 2 or 5 of delay to have your phase 1 be tier 2, up your gigi with a Wawa stick thing.
Say
It's
that
like
part again?
the pharmacy says, I got 500. Come and get it. Because isn't the whole idea to, as they like saying, getting shots into people's arms? Please, stop all this crap, get some damn doses in here, and start vaccinating people.
Mm-hmm. And tell you what, let's talk about this on the other side of the break. Let's get more real about prioritizing, too. Mm-hmm. Going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more on Exiles TV. We'll be right back.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Cantea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Cantea, your Italian dining will change forever.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Team Honda wants to thank you for once again making us Louisiana's #1 new car dealer by offering you never-before-seen savings. For the first time ever, get 0% financing up to 60 months on some of your favorite Honda models. Get thousands in savings right now at Team Honda on Segan Lane.
I'll give you a shot. I know how to do it. Yeah,
Well, you posed a question during the commercial. I think, why are we wasting precious time? And perhaps, in the case of Louisiana, we know that hundreds of doses have gone to waste. Trying to fairly prioritize who gets these shots first.
But it's not doing it fairly.
Because while you're fairly prioritizing, you're not taking into account that how many people over 75 or over 70 are going to say, "I ain't taking your damn shot." And you're waiting around for them to show up and get it.
Well, let's apply a little bit of logic.
Somebody else could have it.
Let's apply a little bit of logic. The Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank is pretty much in the distribution business. Would you not agree?
Yes.
Okay. So when they did that big food drive right before Christmas, they said, come to this place in your car. And they distributed...
We'll give you a box of food.
A whole box that had a bunch of things in it. They did that for like 4,500 people. Why don't we let the damn food bank set up and give injections? You see what I'm saying? This is a lot of happy horse stuff that, we have to have these priorities. And then, well, all right, good. We got 175,000 people over 70. They're the top line of Phase 1B Tier 1. How are you distributing your 170,000 doses? Well, we don't have 170,000 doses. We got 17. But we're going to let these poor people beat their fingers up online and walk into pharmacies and go through all kinds of anxiety. A lot of these people have enlisted their adult children who are taking time away from their own families and their jobs to try to find a way for mama to get a shot, and there ain't one there anyway. One one there.
We're going to want to see, 50% of the population inoculated against this virus before his lordship, Governor John Bell Edwards, is going to want to let us go again?
Well, you know what? I don't even know if that's the magic number, to tell you the truth. But one thing at a time is, like, we know that there are 3 companies now that are rolling out vaccines, soon to be a 4th. Get 1 million doses, and then tell them in 3 weeks you need 2 million doses. And the Fed said they would provide it. Cash in your chips. Get the stuff.
Yep. The whole thing is now we're waiting for enough doses to be distributed so that people can feel more comfortable with relaxing all the rules that they placed.
But putting them into 298 pharmacies when you don't even have 6 figures worth of doses. You got 5 figures.
What I thought,
that guarantees you're going to have no supply.
Doesn't every parish have a parish health center?
You have a parish health unit. Every parish, yeah.
Okay. Wouldn't it make more sense? 64 parishes, just have split the available dosages between those parish health units, and say, go get them.
I will tell you what
get them while they're hot.
What every parish has at least one of.
Or get them while they're cold.
Is a high school with a great big auditorium.
Yeah.
And you go there, like as I said, let the food bank, they seem to know how to distribute things. Let them do it.
Yep. They distributed food, by the way, maintaining safety and masking.
That's right.
Social distancing and, plexiglass shielding and all this other stuff.
Well, and I heard last week that they're finally going to say, well, we're going to get more people giving injections. Now, again, are they contacting retired physicians, RNs, LPNs, LVNs, physical therapists, pharmacists, former military medics, former EMTs, former paramedics? All these people who are absolutely qualified to give a simple intramuscular injection, are they contacting them? And how long is that going to take? You know what? They throw a whole bunch of harpoons on a table, throw a whole bunch of saline, and say, let me see what you got. And you give 5 of them. And if 4 of them don't scream, you're in.
There you go.
This
Just
is
that
not
simple.
brain surgery. But I'll tell you who needs brain surgery. The people who think you have to have phase 1B, tier 1, phase 2A. This is ridiculous. Get the damn things out into the arms. That's the priority. Not making cute little charts. Get them into people. That's what needs to be done.
Well, we'll see if that happens. Again, though, what would your sense tell you, for the governor to say, all right, we're gonna go back to normal? What do you think that they want to see?
I think you're in a good place if you get, if these other vaccines that are coming out are in the 90s with their effectiveness, which is rare, by the way. Mm-hmm. Most vaccines get approved if they're just a little over 50%. Mm-hmm. So if you have 50% of your population vaccinated with a 94% effective, let's round it off, vaccine, I think you're in good shape. But they got to take both shots on some of them. Now, some of them are just one shot, okay? But again, who comes into contact more with people where they can spread it or have it spread to them? People over 70 or the people who say like 35 and trying to make a living going out there? Mm-hmm. You know, these people in the nursing home, God bless them, God love them, they're not out there spreading germs and cheer to the population as a whole. The 45-year-old mom who's trying to get groceries and take her kids to, the learning center or whatever else,
mm-hmm. Dance class.
Pull her over and stick a needle in her. This is all ridiculously wrong-headed. This is not the way you run the railroad. And I don't want to hear...
the way things are going, we're going to be in lockdown at least until summertime. We're still going to be in some kind of lockdown.
Well, Governor Cuomo in New York, who I'm not a big fan of his, but you know what? He knows how to do math. And
well, you can see that the economy of his city is collapsing.
Well, he also did the math with what they're getting and how many people they can vaccinate a day. Mm-hmm. And they have figured in New York they need just a hair over 7 million people to be vaccinated to where they can feel safe with opening up restrictions. Mm-hmm. And he did the math with what they're getting and the places they've got to give them. He's talking about, I think he said it was going to be like 16 months. And he said, clearly unacceptable. And this crap, when I hear you're sending out doses to pharmacies, I'm figuring you're sending out 10 grand to each one.
Yeah.
Instead of 40.
We're sending you 150.
That's a pant load. That is an absolute pant load.
These things have got to come in en masse. I mean, when I first heard 50,000 doses coming into the state, I said, that's nothing.
That isn't anything.
That's nothing. And is that when you call that a dose, is that both shots? Is that allowing for both shots? Or is it 50,000 shots, wait your turn? And what happens if your 21 days comes and you're due for your second shot and you can't get it?
They're supposed to have that ready for you. They're supposed to have that ready. But the thing is, nobody actually thought. Let me tell you something.
Nobody actually thought.
Do you know why instead of MDs running hospitals, you have MBAs running hospitals?
Well, a hospital's a profit-making venture.
Well, no. It's because they know how to do math and schedule and plan, mm-hmm. and physicians and nurses are more know about the science. Mm-hmm. So why don't we get Oh, I don't know. The Tulane School of Business to design a way to distribute this stuff for the quickest effectiveness. Instead of a bunch of doctors who can't support a private practice sitting up at the Capitol. Have you ever wondered what kind of people go into that? Will they have MD after their name? Hi, everybody. Dr. Nick. I've got no time for this. We as a society have no time for this. People in Louisiana have no time for this. Get the damn medicine in large quantities, 1 million, and start putting it in arms. If I say I want Kevin to give me the injection, then that ought to be cool with you.
I could do that. See? Look.
Just do the damn work. Don't make charts. Do the work.
For God's sakes, no more task forces or study groups. Please, for God's sake. All right, another quick break. We will be back with more here on Exiles TV.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Exiles TV.
And another thing.
I'm sorry. I don't know how much time we got left in the program. About 20 minutes here, but I really think that we should spend at least a small amount of time talking about Dr. Martin Luther King. This is Martin Luther King Day. There are events planned, remembrances, celebrations of the man's life and his philosophy. I think if people are feeling the ground rumbling under their feet, that is the Reverend King rolling over in his grave, because I do not think the world of the 21st century is one that he envisioned when he told us his dream back all those years ago.
Not this way.
The one key thing that's always the part of his speech that always hits me is when he talks about people being judged by the content. Well, he talks about his children being judged by the content of their character and not by the color of their skin. And we don't seem to do that at all anymore. Judge people by the content of their character. Everything seems to be about labeling and pigeonholing. after you've been labeled, after you've been pigeonholed, whether it's black, white, Hispanic, gay, transgender, cisgender, whatever group you fit into, and then been pigeonholed into that group. And then if you're downtrodden or looked upon as the underdog, then let's get you on a government program.
You know what's worse?
And I don't think that's the world that Dr. King had envisioned it for us at all.
What's worse than that is the presumptions that go along after you've been pigeonholed. The presumption that if you're Asian, you must be really good at math and science.
Yes.
Indian.
If you're Eastern Indian, you must be good at math and science.
If you are a young black male, you must be more dangerous than a young white male or a young Hispanic male.
How many people have you known or talk to a young black male and say, which is it, basketball or football?
Yeah.
Which is it?
Yeah.
Because it's got to be one or the other, right? Or both.
Yeah. How many people?
Not all athletes.
The expectation, the stereotypical expectation that comes with all these labeling ideas and all the pigeonholing, as you so appropriately put it, has a tendency to really, really be destructive. There's a psychological theory that has never been denied called labeling theory. If you tell a kid who is 8 years old and gets caught stealing something from a store, if you tell that kid at that point, not just that what he had done was wrong, but that you're no good, you're never going to amount to anything, you're nothing but a thug, they might as well start getting your cell ready for you right now, and you just harangue this kid without doing anything constructive, that kid is going to adopt that persona that you have labeled him with. Mm-hmm. That's why they call detention centers the University of Crime, because all of the attention they get is from other criminals, not from anybody doing anything constructive. But to answer your original question, I don't think that we have leadership in this country of the caliber of Dr. Martin Luther King. I don't see people waiting in the wings. And I also don't think we have leadership of the caliber to understand the message of Dr. Martin Luther King. That's an even bigger problem. We have invested too much capital in being snide, in being dismissive, and in some time, and for some people, just being downright hateful of someone who doesn't look like us, or doesn't dress like us, or doesn't do the same things that we do. I talked to a man, I did a little speech about a month and a half ago. And there's this guy, and he's an older guy, and he's retired. He'd been in business over a number of years. And he said, yeah, man, he said, you're talking about media and commercials and television and all that. And he said, I'm just sick of them shoving these interracial, couples on TV down our throats. It's like 90% of the commercials.
He doesn't understand why they do that.
But it's not 90% of the commercials. It's nowhere near 90% of the commercials.
No, but he doesn't understand why people that make TV commercials do that.
But here's the thing. Why would he say that? I can't understand why he would say that.
Because he's noticing.
No, he's saying that because he wants to be mean-spirited and stick a finger in somebody's eye. That's the problem. In fact, one of the other people there was in an interracial marriage. His wife is black. And he said, we know we're different. We know that, there are a lot of people that wonder why and how we get along and what society is like to us. He said, but we also keep up with, is this a trend? And he said, it really isn't a trend in the United States. He said, there's the same percentage of interracial marriages now, per capita, as there was in 1980. But he said, you know what? He said, the percentage of commercials on TV, I watch primetime television. He said, the percentage of interracial commercials on TV is actually a little bit less than the percentage of interracial couples in the United States.
I don't find it disturbing. Do you find it disturbing?
No. I don't find it I used to notice going, oh, that's different. Okay, it's different. There's nothing necessarily good or bad about something being different.
I understand why advertisers and ad agencies do it when they're casting commercials. They do it because they want to head off pressure and complaints from people who keep tabs. You know, wow, Home Depot, you just showed an entire family of white people. You got a problem with black people? You got a problem with Asians? You got a problem with Native Americans?
Well, they might also be testing a market that is out there and that they feel they would be appropriate for and that can be profitable for them.
I think that, and maybe I'm oversimplifying, but I think that Dr. King hoped for a world where we weren't so noticing of skin color.
Oh, I think he did hope for that. I think you're right.
That we might be able to just look beyond what we look like and start to deal with each other face to face on how we behave, how we interact with one another, and someday be able to just it not be an issue. And I think I felt like, and maybe this is my white privilege showing, but I felt like, Bill, that for a while there in the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s, the race relations in the U.S. were getting much, much better. And you saw, you know, many more examples of people that were not heedful, that or not, they weren't judging people or picking their friends by, you know, what group did they belong in. But here in the 21st century, in the last few years, we seem to have ripped that scab off now, and everything's all about race again.
Well, the thing is, when you're at a point in your society where you're not doing a lot of introspection, instead you're looking outside for causatives. You know, why are our taxes so high? Well, you know, they got all these federal giveaway programs, and they don't even have to say who they're for because they figure you're going to assume it. You know, why is my kid having such a hard time getting a job? Well, they're not going to say.
Affirmative action.
Well, they're not going to say, well, my kid is really pretty stupid, and he's lazy, and he's got a drug problem.
And he can do nothing.
Because we've trained him that way as his parents. But no, it's all these immigrants coming in from overseas. They're taking all the jobs. They're taking all the jobs.
They took our jobs.
It's the language.
Yeah.
And you know what? We have come in this country, it's a shame. We really, really want to have somebody that we can hate. We really, really want to have somebody we can be mad at.
Yeah, we like that straw man. That was Hitler's whole thing. Hitler's like, well, it's the Jews' fault. Blame it on the Jews.
Well, and everybody knows it's their fault. Well, I don't know everybody knows that. Yeah, I'm telling you, everybody knows that.
I've never understood it. I have never understood anti-Semitism ever. How is it would somebody please explain to me, how is it the Jews' fault? Why is it the Jews' fault? I've never understood that.
Well,
it's just completely unreasonable. Same thing with being completely unreasonable about your hatred for blacks or hatred for Hispanics or hatred for any group. It's a waste of your time and your energy.
Well, I don't know about today.
And it's gonna rot you from the inside.
I'm sure the dynamic has changed today, but I can tell you, historically, what happened in Germany with the Jews is, as a general rule, they had done very well for themselves. Why? Because they would employ family and cut their overhead until they could start another family member in a business and things like that. Mm-hmm. So they were very easily identifiable, and they clustered. They lived together, they worked together, they played together, because that is how you used to have to build a business in Europe. The only difference was they weren't Christian European.
Yep.
And so it was easy when Hitler says, I need an enemy, that's it, right there, because we can see them. We know who they are. We know where they live. We know what they do. Pretty easy.
Didn't seem hard at all. All right, time for our last break of the hour here. We'll be back to wrap things up on Exiles TV.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bugg Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Well, we're back to wrap things up here on Exiles TV. Don't forget, coming up in just a few minutes after our program is over, is the Clarence Bugg Show. Now, I hope we didn't steal too much of Clarence's thunder, because I'm almost certain Clarence will have some things to say about Dr. Martin Luther King during his program today as well.
Well, let us put it this way. The thunder will be somewhat different because it will not be coming from two white guys.
Yeah.
It'll be coming from a black guy.
There is a perspective that you and I do not have on the issue of race, but then again, there is a perspective we do have on the issue of race.
Well, you know, we can never walk a mile in those shoes.
Yeah, but I think everyone's perspective is worth listening to. And if we spend more time listening and less time talking, that's never a bad thing.
Yeah. By the way, one of the things that's going to happen today is they're going to have an interactive Martin Luther King Day celebration at the Knock Knock Children's Museum. And this is for parents as well as kids. And they're going to go through some of the history and legacy of Dr. King. And
for those of you watching not in the Baton Rouge area, because we go out into like 24 parishes, New Orleans, Lafayette. It's worth it if you've got kids, especially small kids. It's worth the trip to Baton Rouge to visit the Knock Knock Children's Museum. This thing is really a showstopper, and the kids are going to love it. You'll be amazed by it as well. And today, you've got nothing else going on. Load the car up. Still plenty of time to make it.
So one of the things that is in the back of everybody's consciousness, and it's going to start moving forward as we get closer to Wednesday, is security. Not at the U.S. Capitol only, but at state capitals all around the nation. And on our show tomorrow, we will have retired Colonel Mike Edmondson, who is now heading up a security, logistics, and operations company. In fact, they were some of the first people into New York City during COVID. But Mike is an expert at interpreting intelligence. He had to do that for years as superintendent of state police. And he's going to talk a little bit about how you prep, why you prep, And also, when the FBI says it this way, it means something a little bit different from when they say it that way. So it should be an interesting time with him tomorrow.
Haven't seen Colonel Edmondson in a long, long time, so it'll be good to catch up with him.
And by the way, did you see the protest at our Capitol?
It's kind of pitiful.
It was pretty sad. The only one that was sadder was in Arkansas, and Clarence is laughing. He thought, "There's this guy that is as wide as he is tall, and he's got his camo on, and his cheeks are bursting out of his mask, okay, and he's got his SKS slung across his body, military style."
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he said, "I'm a patriot. I'm defending our Constitution." And somebody asked, a reporter said, "Well, is that one of the reasons you have your weapon, but there's no magazine in it?" And he went, "What?"
What? He didn't know?
Hey, y'all, hold my beer.
Well, it's a symbol. I'm sorry. I think it's unnecessarily provocative to bring a weapon to a peaceful demonstration.
Well,
sorry.
A lot of these
I know you're
guys.
trying to send a message, but unnecessarily provocative.
If you really want to do a service at the state capitals while it's still small numbers, actually go out and read the Constitution to them. Perhaps they don't understand. Go out and do a little reading. You know, I'm going to read aloud from the Bill of Rights. Have a good day. Clarence Bugs is next.
Till tomorrow, God bless. Take care.
Get those shots in.